In this video we will learn all about strings. So I'm going to type in a string s equals, and the way you type in a string is you either enclose it in apostrophes or close it in quotations. So h equals hello, my name is Curtis. If I type in s, it's going to return that back to me. Now I can index specific parts of that string. I can do s in brackets but 0. And that's going to return back to me the first letter, which is H. I can get the first 5 letters using starting with the colon and then following it by 5. Put that in brackets, and see it's going to give me the first 5 letters. I can get the last few letters. I can do S. If I do S in brackets -1, it's going to be the last letter of that string, which is S. Hello, my name is Curtis, and it ends in a S. I can get the last several letters, S -6, and then I'm going to extend and do a colon, saying I want to go from the -6 position, which is starting all the way at the end, and going back 6 letters, and then I'm going to do a colon, saying start at the 6th letter from the end and go all the way to the end. So that gives me the full name Curtis. The string is immutable, so if I do S0 equals, I don't know, I, let's do something like that, and then it's going to say a string object does not support item assignment. So I can't change anything in that string. Of course, there's a workaround. I can create a whole new variable, also named S, that'll delete the previous string and then add a whole new string in its place. But in general, you can't just go through and tweak that string. Although you can do something like this. So if I do s.replace, so replace is a function within string, and I type in Curtis. So s.replace, the first argument is the original string that I want to modify, and the second one will be what I want to replace it with, so Batman. And if I replace it, it'll say, hello, my name is Batman. Now what it's doing is creating an entirely new string, and it's modifying that one part, which is Curtis, and changing it to Batman. Now I can reassign the variable. I can go s equals s.replace Curtis Batman, and then the string will forever be called hello, my name is Batman. So, or it's going to have that string within it. Now you can also, there's other useful functions of strings. There's many useful functions of strings, but some of the more useful ones is s.find, and I can do is. Okay, so what it's going to return back is going to turn back to me the index of those letters, and so it's going to search along that string, and it's going to find is, and it's going to find the position where that first letter is in that string. So if I were to do s.find is, and then colon. So what this is going to do is it's going to use s.find to find where the first is, and then it's going to start there, and it's going to go all the way to the end of the string. So it's going to return back to me is Batman. So that's a way of pulling another string out of a longer string. Now another thing is you can use a formatted string. So I'm going to do fs for formatted string equals, and again you would enclose it in apostrophes or quotation marks. Let's see, and I'm going to use brackets name to indicate these are places where I'd like to insert some text. So name is age years old. Okay. So now if I do fs, so this is a string, but there's some code buried within this string. I have the bracket saying if I want to add a name, I want you to insert it here. If I want you to add an age, I want you to insert it where the age is. And so I can use fs.format, and then in parentheses do name equals Curtis, and age equals 36. So now what it returns back to me, before it was just placeholders, age or name and age, but now what the formatting did is it inserted Curtis and 36 into that string. Now of course, if I type in fs, it's still the original. I'd have to create a new string and say ns equals fs.format, name equals. In order to create a new string that has this information, typically you would just use the return string and insert that into a function, but you may find a need to create an entirely different string that has the specific information that you're looking for. Now these are some of the basic functions of strings, and there's plenty more in there. I'm just focusing on some of the major ones that you might run into or you might need. Now strings are used in just about every code that you're going to type. I mean, just about every code you're going to be referencing some file path, you're going to be adding names, or you're going to be putting text inside of graphs, as maybe a figure title or a y-axis or an x-axis legend. So strings are used throughout coding. It's one of the major variable types that is frequently used. So I highly recommend that you play around with strings and get used to them because you're going to be using them a lot.